Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today is Tuesday, December 13th. And today we're going to talk about, are you living the life that you are designing for yourself? What are your standards of living? What are your standards of your health? What are your standards of your relationships? What are your standards of everything in your life? So, when you don't consistently look and review where you are in life and where you want to be in life, you might just want to just look back. If you're not hitting where you want to be, if you're not having the relationships with the people around you, your spouse, your kids, your family, your friends, if you're not at the health that you want, outside if there's anything that you can't control, of course, but in general health. If your business, where are your standards in real estate with your prospecting and your calls and your follow-up and things that you do in your business? Where are your standards? And the one feeling I feel it works for me, that I know that I'm not living to my standards or not hitting those, is that a little bit of guilt. That guilt, like, I should have been doing that. I should not have been doing that. I should be spending more time doing this. I should be spending less time doing that. Is that guilt? That guilt. Do you feel that guilt of I should be in better health? Feel that guilt at the end of the day when you said, I should have prospected more today. I should have been looking for more buyers and sellers. I should have be making more phone calls and having more conversations with people. Basically, where your life is now is based on what standards you set for yourself. And when you finally break through that, I want to be above these basic standards. And that's what basically I think a lot of people end up in their lives, is that they just have these basic standards for living. I just need to make this amount of money just to pay my bills and just have a little bit enough to do whatever. This standard of spending time and having relationships with people, this standard of health. You're like, I'm okay, I feel okay, I'm not the best of health, but this is the standard I set for myself. I'm not going to do more in exercise, less in eating unhealthy. And right back into your real estate business. What are your standards every day of prospecting? What are your standards every day of what you're going to be doing with your work day? What standard did you set for yourself? And just to stick with that, one last topic to end this today is, if you were an employee, if you were an employee of yourself, if you hired yourself, would you be satisfied with the standard of work that you were supposed to do each other, right? Any job you ever had as an employee of someone else, they had standards, they had duties. You had to do this, and if you didn't meet the standard of what you had to accomplish at any job that you've ever had, you got fired, you're gone. They're going to find someone else to live up to their standards. So you have to set that for yourself. And sometimes I think a lot of people, when they go in business for themselves, can't make themselves accountable. They don't hire themselves saying, you have a job to do. You have to do this today. And they set the standard low. And that's why some people get into real estate, to get into businesses, to be their own boss. And that's why they fail. That they fail because they didn't set a standard for themselves, a minimum. And even if they have the minimum, it doesn't equal the results. And if the results aren't there, the minimum's too low. Your standard is too low of what you want to accomplish. So hopefully they give you something to think about today. What are your standards of life? What are your standards in everything of your life? And do you need to raise those standards or exceed the standards that you have for yourself now? So that's it for today on a Tuesday. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Bye-bye.